Something has got to happen because we can no longer go down the path that we're going down. This country won't last another 6 months. This country won't last another 12 months if something doesn't happen. So it's time to flip the switch. It's time to get involved. It's time to move the line forward. And if you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. So I don't care what flip the switch is. I don't care if that means that all of this nonsense is nonsense, or if some of it's true. All right, welcome. Good evening, Warriors, world patriots, my fellow Americans. My name is Mike. I'm the host of the Liberty Warrior. Give me liberty or give me death. When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. It is a Monday for sure. It's definitely a Monday, June the 20th, 2022. How y'all doing? How was your weekend? How was your Father's Day? How was the start of your week? Man, I had a computer die on me. Hopefully the sounds good. Tammy said that the mic didn't sound so great on headline hits, so hopefully it sounds good now. Otherwise, I've got other issues I got to deal with, but hopefully it sounds the same. So hello everybody in chat. I'll be in chat later tonight, on and off, talking about a few things that I want to bring to your guys' attention. Lot of stuff going on. I mean, seriously, So much going on. It's really hard to keep up with it. My phone constantly is dinging with text messages, phone calls, people reaching out to me, keeping me informed on what's going on. So I hope you guys are paying attention as well. So tonight is brought to you by the Pillow Guy, Mike Lindell. I know Father's Day was yesterday. My dad got a pair of slippers for Father's Day. he he almost wore them all day today when I was out at the house working in the greenhouse. He had them on everywhere he went, and I have mine on right now. So I think the slippers are dad approved. Just so you guys know, slippers are now dad approved. So if you guys haven't got a pair of those slippers, you guys can go to mypillow.com, use promo code LWN, and shop. There's more than just pillows there. The bed sheets are wonderful. Slippers are great. A lot of great items there too. And once you get there, you guys check out mystore.com. There's a link right there at My Pillow. You guys can go out and check out other Patreon-owned businesses that are selling other merchandise there as well. So if you guys want to check that out, and yes, a little bit of the proceeds does come here to LWN and help us out. And that is greatly appreciated. So for all of you that have purchased anything from My Pillow, thank you, and I hope you enjoy all those products as I do as well. So here we go. Here's the question for tonight. What is the biggest news that you guys have heard in the last 4 or 5 days that just either made you go, huh? Or uh-huh, or I knew it. What's some of the biggest news that came out over the weekend that you guys just really, it either put a smile on your face, made you scratch your head? Because there was a lot that popped out this weekend, and I've been tracking it, paying attention to it. Been on the phone with Jeff B probably, I think, 3 or 4 times today. A lot of stuff going on. So first thing that I'd like to talk about tonight is Joey's hairy legs. Um, there is a cartoon illustration out there that they put together after the campaign trail of 2019, where Joey made reference to him being in a public pool and how he enjoyed the little kids coming over and rubbing the hair on his legs because as he was in the pool, his hair would stand up on his legs. And the kids found that very neat so that they would pet his leg and push the hairs back down. Now, if that's not the most awkward and oddball story that any person ever running for president of the United States has ever told any audience, I don't know how you could possibly beat that. Um, I see a lot of comments in chat. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Pope tonight. We're going to talk about a lot of things tonight. So just bear with me here. I'm going to get to all of it. But Joey's hairy legs, it just gets him in trouble everywhere he goes. You know, Joey is also the sniffer. He likes to come up behind little kids, little girls, especially ladies, and sniff their hair. I don't know if he's attracted to some of the perfumes or some of the shampoos or conditioners or the hairspray that ladies use on their hair, but boy, he sure does like the sniff. And let's not forget about the ice creams. Joey loves the ice creams. Anytime Joey is in Delaware and he hears the ice cream truck coming through the neighborhood, you know, mommy and daddy slips him a 2 bits, and Joey runs out and grabs himself an ice cream. So why am I bringing up the hairy legs of Joey Dimes tonight? I'm bringing it up because over the weekend, Joey had another accident. He was in Delaware over the weekend, riding bikes, riding down by the beach. And as he came into a group of, I don't know what you would call them, fans, onlookers, Biden supporters, which I guess the crowd that was there is probably all the supporters he has in the entire nation. They probably rounded them all up and got them in one place so that it looked like there was at least, you know, half a dozen people there. But as he kind of strolled in on his bike and slowed down, I guess his foot got stuck on the pedal and he kind of just tipped on over. Um, he was wearing shorts. So I was bringing up the hairy legs because, of course, here we like to talk about conspiracy theories and we like to talk about certain things and what doesn't fit and what doesn't make sense. And so a photo went out about his hairy legs. And so here's the question: was that the hairy leg of an 80-year-old man? If you guys believe that it was a hairy leg of an 80-year-old man, put a 1 in chat. If you don't believe it, put a 17 in the chat. Put a 17 in chat if you don't believe that that was the hairy leg of an 80-year-old man. The reason why I bring this up is because in my circle, um, that photo was actually sent out to a few different people. I can't tell you where or who, but it came back that no, that is definitely not the leg of an 80-year-old man. So that begs the question: who is Joey Dimes? Is that the real Joey Dimes? A lot of people say no. A lot of people believe it's, well, an actor or whatever you want to call him. Me personally, I talked about this earlier this evening. Um, I believe in a couple of different realities. One, I believe at times, yes, it's probably not the real guy. Um, we've showed on the show many a times photos put side by side how the earlobes don't match. Just all kinds of oddball physical characteristics that just doesn't seem to line up with the old Joey. So the one reality is no, that's not him. But another reality that I live in is it's absolutely him. He just, the lights on and nobody's home, and he's not the true guy driving the bus. That's another reality that we all like to talk about. And I definitely, um, for me personally, I think that that may be a closer reality for me, that it is the same guy that we see on and off, not always, but on and off, and that he has no comprehension that he's even president of the United States most of the time. He whispers into the mic when he's at the Naval Academy, "Hey, don't forget, I'm your commander in chief." I mean, things like that. He turns around on stage and starts to shake hands with invisible people. I mean, the list goes on and on. Recently, as recent as what, 2 maybe 3 weeks ago, he tripped going up the stairs on Air Force One yet again. So here's another question for you in chat: if that was the real commander in chief, if that was the real president, why in the heck did Secret Service not swarm him when he tipped over? How do they know it wasn't a gunshot? How do they know he wasn't having a heart attack? Why was there no medical on scene? Why did they not take him to seek medical attention? If this is truly the real Joey, he's a fragile man. So when he tips over like that or he stumbles going upstairs, I mean, he's a fragile guy. So why wouldn't they seek health care immediately and just check him out, make sure he's not having a stroke, or maybe he's having withdrawals from ice cream cones. I don't know what causes some of these odd physical trip ups other than I mean, at 80 years old, all of us are going to start to getting slow. We're going to lose a lot of our motor skills. So I see the reality behind that. I see some of that being real characteristics of an older gentleman or um, a senior. No offense to any of you guys, because I'm sure you guys can walk up the stairs just fine. But that's just a question that I have tonight. It just really seems very odd. Now, here's another question that I have for you guys. Can anyone in chat, tell me that they have seen Joe Biden at least one time be followed by the football, or have even seen the quarterback carrying the football? when Joey's around? I'm going to specifically ask that question to my brother John Estabrooks, who's in chat. Have you ever seen Joe with the football? Have any of you ever seen Joe with the football? Because I have not. I have not. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't video out there proving that, yeah, maybe it has been around. I have yet to see it. And believe me, I've searched, I can't find it. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong spot, but I've never seen that football with that supposed commander in chief. So that brings up another question. Why? Why have we not seen that? Is he really the commander in chief? Is he the real president of the United States? Or could we be living a reality where he is, but he's so decrepit? He's got dementia. They know he's got dementia, and they're not going to ever allow him to have the football. Um, just questions that go through my mind. It's just one thing after another with this guy. And then to top it all off, I reported today that his administration is coming out and telling everybody. Remember, I reported last week, I warned you guys last week that the entire Democratic caucus was going to meet in DC over the weekend and try to figure out how they were going to present a message to the American public on the economy. Today, they put out a message that states that we have had the lowest unemployment rate, and I think they said 18 states, even as far back as before the pandemic itself. How many of you believe that nonsense? Because I sure don't. So this current administration, Joey and the clowns, will continue to spin their propaganda. They will continue to put out lies. And we're going to call them on it. I'm going to show you guys every time I possibly can that it's nothing but lies. And I think, honestly, the game is just about up. I think things are kind of coming to a head here. I'm going to talk about a few of those tonight. I'm going to talk about some of the things that I think that we're going to see things really transpire at a rapid pace, so fast. We're not going to be able to keep up with everything that's coming out. So that's kind of what I want to talk about for Joey tonight. I'll probably bring him up again here later. But here's something else that I find very interesting. Monkey has been putting this out for the last, I don't know, week or so, and I wanted to ask you guys your opinion on this. Now, of course, if you were in business and somebody wasn't paying their bill, you're not going to continue to keep sending them the merchandise that they're purchasing from you, or however you want to look at it. So China's back in the news. Doesn't seem like they're sending any ships our direction or anyone's direction. So what do you read into that? Is that because people aren't paying? Is that because they are protecting themselves? Is that because they are saving all of that stuff for themselves? Are they supplying only China? If they're only supplying China and they're not going to send any of those shipments across the seas to America, um, why is it that they're doing that? Is there something underlining that we're not paying attention to? We're not seeing. Could it be that they're posturing for something? Because if you guys remember, I think it was early last week, I talked about how China is expanding their nuclear capabilities. They're posturing. We talk about China invading Taiwan constantly. I don't think it's a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When are they going to cross that border for real and go into Taiwan? Um, I don't know. With the things that I'm seeing happening right now, it could be any day, it could be any week, could be any month. Um, I don't understand some of the stuff that we're seeing. I don't know what it means. Are they going into Taiwan to clean up biolabs? I have no clue. Um, the biolabs were found to be real in Ukraine. Um, are there some in Taiwan? I think it's very possible. Um, but I don't put a lot of faith into some of these narratives that's being spun out there because both sides are spinning narratives. Let me be clear. Both sides are spinning narratives. So, yes, I'm a critic and yes, I watch everything and I really sit back and try to gather information and discern it because I'm not going to be the person that just believes everything that they put out each and every time because I'm just not going to be that person. So, what's the link? And I'm going to ask chat, what's the link between Taiwan and China? And what's going on with the cargo ships? What's your opinion on that? Me personally, I think they're not making shipments because I mean the economy is in a wreck right now. They know that they got us by the tiger by the tail, and I think China personally is going to put a hurting on us or try to. That's just my opinion. That is just my opinion. I really believe China is going to try to make our situation as worse as it possibly can. Now, don't forget, old Joey, he's sold out to China. So is his son. Some major links there with energy companies in China. I've been reporting on it for quite a while now. Over $31 million that family has received from China itself. So it's um, it's something that I think is very concerning. Uh, United We Stand put in there, no one will accept the US dollar. So let's talk about that for just a minute. I just had Andy on last week. Now, Andy don't buy into a bunch of this fantasy land stuff, and neither do I. So the fact of the matter is, even though Russia had sanctions put on them by NATO, by the UN, by the EU, Russia's ruble is outperforming all other currencies in the world. Why is that? It's gold backed. Why is that? Because they're self sustainable. They control a lot of oil, they control a lot of natural gas that's funneled into Europe, Germany, Belgium. A lot of them depend on Russia to supply that to them. And unfortunately, there for a while, we were dependent on it as well. As soon as this current administration took over, we became less and less energy independent, and we are now relying on other countries around the world to supply that crude to us. So, yeah, you're right. Andy's been talking about it, and I believe it. I believe there's a shift about to happen. I believe the petrodollar is dead. I believe that Western currency is also drying up, and I believe that China is not going to accept money from America anymore. I believe there's a lot of countries out there that are not going to accept Western currency much longer until America changes that currency and it becomes gold backed and it actually has a value. I think that that is a concern for America. I think it's definitely something that I continue to look at, and I will continue to have talks with Andy and get his perspective on it and his professional opinion on it because I think it's very valid. So, yeah, currency is a pretty big deal. Let's talk about some of those countries over there in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia will no longer, well, they're not going to produce any more oil or extra oil, I should say. Venezuela told us no, shut that down. So old Joey either himself is gone or has sent his little cronies out to the world and asked for them to produce more oil when we have oil right here in our own country and we have for many years. um, but this is all by design. So we all know that this is to create chaos, to destroy America. So then, late last week, the administration came out and attacked American owned oil companies and started demanding more production from them. I mean, you can't get any worse of decisions in any administration in American history. I know a lot of you probably around during the Jimmy Carter years. A lot of people used to say that Jimmy Carter was the worst president in 100 years. Well, I think this guy here has got him beat hands down. Joey is the worst president of all time. All right. So we talked about China. We talked about that. How about, and I haven't verified this yet. I have received a few text messages tonight. I heard it is possible that Israel's government has collapsed. Has anyone else heard that news? I'm going to wait just a couple of seconds here to try to catch chat. But has anyone else heard tonight or today that Israel's government collapsed today? I thought it very interesting. Looks like it's on CNN. If anybody wants to try to Google it or look it up real quick, Israel set for possible fifth election in 4 years as Bennett, is that how you pronounce his last name? I can't remember. Moves to dissolve parliament. This is breaking on CNN. Israel's prime minister, I can't remember how to pronounce his name, but you know who I'm talking about, has effectively called time on his prime ministership after just a year in the job, along with his key coalition ally foreign minister, Yair Lapid, who now looks to set to replace him as leader as early as next week. So I don't know. Israel seems like they're in some trouble right now when it comes to the government. Remember that over 60% of their population has been vacationed. They've had some of the heaviest restrictions of the world. Just a lot of stuff going on over in Israel right now. And then I reported, let me catch Cowboy. Cowboy put something in chat. Israel Prime Minister office says government to be disband, nation to go new elections. AP, yeah, I see that. All right, thanks, Kathy. Don't forget that I just reported on Israel. I think it was last week or the week before. They were prepping their F-35s for long haul bombing. Basically, they were putting some new equipment on their fighter jets and getting ready for a possible conflict with Iran. So a lot of countries out there that are posturing right now, and it's concerning to me to see these guys really seeming to stoke the fire, poking one another, and it's Israel falls. Israel goes into another one of those uh, dark spots for a moment. What is that gonna do to the rest of that environment over there? There's so many enemies of Israel. If Israel starts having issues like this, who's going to maybe cross a line? And then what kind of chain reaction is that going to cause with all that stuff that's going on over there? I don't know. Rumors of war. Yeah, you've got that right, Sharon. Um, UK has just come out today, or maybe it was yesterday, making a statement that they have a new commander of their army, and he is telling his soldiers that they need to be prepped and ready for a land war right there in the continent of Europe with Russia, claiming that Russia is a legitimate threat. So a lot of countries posturing, a lot of countries making moves, things that I feel like we really need to pay attention to, and not just kind of, shrug them off or wipe your shoulder off and say, I'm not worried about it. The white hats have total control of all this stuff. All right. Well, that's one reality. What if your reality is incorrect? What if your reality is something does pop off over there in Europe? What does that mean for the United States? I think it's very concerning because Joey Dimes has also made statements about posturing, protecting Taiwan, protecting Ukraine, I don't want to get drug into another war. To be brutally honest with all of you right now listening to me, I don't want to be drug into another war. I don't. I don't think that we have any business a lot of times being over there. We definitely have no business sending Ukraine $70 billion. Um, it's just not good. We've never got anything out of it other than just more trouble. So I think it's a valid concern for any American to really be paying attention to world politics and to world governments and to pay attention to the armies of the world and what they're doing and what they're saying. Don't forget the other little crazy over there on the little peninsula of Asia there, little Kim, and how crazy he's gotten over the last decade. But I felt very confident and comfortable having Trump at the helm because Trump is just one person that I wouldn't want to mess with. When he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. So I think he kind of put the little man in his spot, put him in his place, and told him, "Hey, if you're going to play around with these nukes and be, a total uh, ass about it, then I'll just nuke you back into the Stone Age, whatever I got to do." And I really feel like Trump really put him in his place. So, did anybody pay attention to the Trump speech over the weekend? Because I did not. I didn't listen to any of it. I think a lot of it's just rerun after rerun. Um, I don't know if he put out anything new. Nobody contacted me over the weekend and said that he really put out anything new, other than the fact that he did say this. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, "You won't hear it from me, but we got it all." What does that mean? What does that mean anymore? Is there something else that they're waiting on, or is there a move getting ready to be made? Is that switch finally going to be flipped? I don't know. I'm watching. I'm paying attention because Texas just put out. If you guys didn't hear this or see this, let me bring it up real quick. Let me read it for you. So this was definitely sent to me today a couple of times by a couple of different people. This is reported by, where did this come out of? U.S. News Premium is the source. And it says Texas GOP passes resolution declaring Biden not legitimately elected. That came out on June 19th, 2022. So that was yesterday, updated today. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Is there something big about to happen? Texas Republicans passed a resolution on June 18th stating that President Joe Biden was, I won't say that again, I just said it. And it goes on to talk about what happened on November of 2020, being the F word. And that's not the 4-letter F word, it's the 5-letter F word, FRAUD. And it goes on further to say that metropolitan areas were influenced the results of the 2020 and that they favored Biden himself. We believe that the 2020 uh, and I'm trying to read this a certain way, violated Article 1 and 2 of the US Constitution. It's a pretty amazing statement that they're putting out. It goes on to talk about the 2K donkeys and how that movie really put things out there and showed America, showed the people around the world what really happened on that night. So it's a pretty amazing article. Like I said, you can read it if you want in the USA or US News. I don't have a link for it. You're going to have to do a little bit of hard work and search it out yourself, but it's there. So that begs another question. I've been on this train for a long time. I've been on the reality train And I've been paying attention to Maricopa County. I've been paying attention to Arizona as a whole. I've been paying attention to Michigan and Wisconsin. I've been paying attention to Georgia and South Carolina, and Pennsylvania. I've been paying attention to all of them. Why is that? Because I'm a strong believer that that may be one of our paths, that may be one of our realities that we have to live through, which is okay, it's been proven. People have put the information out there. It's been received. Now, what is the next move? What is the thing that has to be done? Well, me personally, I believe it has to go through courts. It has to be very, very on the up and up. So there are loopholes, zero loopholes that can be um, ran through, jumped through to change um, information or to make it to where it's not legit. If you understand what I'm talking about, it's something that I think it takes time. A lot of people don't like the time. They don't like the timeline. They want everything immediately, immediate gratification. And I think that things that happen there in Arizona, I think things are being held and I think things are being waited upon. I think they're waiting for certain other things to come about before everybody kind of just goes at it all at the same time. I think it's going to be one huge move, one huge shift all at the same time. I believe that Texas is it could be a signal. It could be that switch that gets flipped. And then here comes Arizona, here comes Michigan, Wisconsin, everybody. It's one big flood because I believe in True the Vote. I believe in Greg Phillips. I believe in what they're doing. I believe that we're about to see a massive, massive shift just in that one area. Now, there's many, many pieces of the puzzle to this whole entire thing. That's just one. And I know that there are sheriffs out there running investigations about what happened on November of 2020. I know that there was a specific county in Colorado that actually decertified. I think you're going to see a lot more start doing that entire same game plan. I think, my opinion, I think it's going to end up going to the Supreme Court. I think that the Supreme Court is getting ready to hand down some decisions, but how do we know that they don't already know about this? Let me ask this question to chat. How do we know that the Supreme Court hasn't already heard these arguments, hasn't already seen the proof, hasn't already seen all the evidence? How do we know it hasn't already been brought to their attention? And that's why the fences are up around the Supreme Court. Just a question. Because I am just a strong believer in the movement that we're part of. We're all going to have to do some hard lifting. We're all going to have to do some hard work. I believe God's hand is definitely involved, but I don't believe in all the hocus pocus smoke and mirrors game. That's not my faith. That's not my belief. I think it's got to be a lot more of the legit. This happened. This is fact. We caught it, and we're going to make the right corrections. As far as a magic button happening, there's just no way that's going to happen. Now, um, what else did I want to talk about tonight? I just thought that that was a pretty big deal that Texas is now coming out. And don't forget, Texas was one of the leading states that really wanted to stop everything before J6. They actually put a lawsuit together and they had multiple states joining that lawsuit to stop what was going on before J6. That was a pretty big deal. So I really believe, folks, we are right at the edge that it's not going to take much more for everything to really just slide. And once it starts sliding, they're not going to be able to stop any of this stuff. Which brings me to the Pope. I know a few of you had mentioned in chat earlier that that you guys saw that the Pope was either dead or resigned. The whole death thing on any of these people, I'm just kind of really sick and tired of hearing about it, to be honest with you. Everybody's died at least 42 times. It's just, I just don't understand that. I don't understand the whole thought process behind that. But what I got today from my contacts was that um, it's looking like he's going to possibly resign, which, as a skeptic, brings a whole lot more questions to the table, right? Here's my big question: popes don't resign. Popes don't resign that I'm aware of. Usually, popes stay in that position until the day they take their last breath. So, why would he resign? Now, when I'm talking about my inner circle, my connections, some of this stuff was pulled right from Fox News. What is her name? Kelly Megan or Megan Kelly, or I don't know. One of those blonde ladies that works for Fox is actually over there. I saw the clip on Twitter and I saw that she was over there on a family vacation, and I saw that she had noticed it and there was some irregularities going on, and she started asking some questions. Now, they've said that there are cardinals arriving there in the Vatican. So I don't know. Is the Pope on the deathbed? Is he dying? Is he resigning? Has he already died? I don't know. I don't know. Sissy May says the last one resigned. I thought the last one uh, bought the farm. I thought the last one died in office, and maybe I'm misinformed on that. I just find it very strange. So here's the next question: the Pope. It's a very strange thing, and is this going to be linked to something? I don't know. A lot of people can write some really wild stories about what it may or may not mean or cause or do. But one of the thoughts that we've had in the last 6 hours was the Vatican is tied to the market. The market is fluctuating pretty hard right now. A lot of scary moments in the market where it's dropped, 800 points, 1,000 points. It's come back a little bit. Bitcoin is down over $2,000. I think it's under 20,000 right now, or it was last I checked. So, is this something that's tied in any way, shape, or form to the Pope? I don't know. If the Pope was to resign, is that going to cause any more volatility in the market? It could, possibly. Um, I reported last week that experts are calling for a recession here in America. There is going to be a collapse of the American economy. And if you don't believe it, if you don't believe that this is all going to come crashing down, I can't help you, because it is going to come crashing down. How hard is it going to be? Well, I know a lot of optimists out there, which I'm a lifetime optimist, think it's going to be a soft landing. Um, I don't think it's going to be so soft. I think we're going to bounce. I think it's going to hit pretty hard. I think it's going to rock a lot of people. I think a lot of people are going to wake up. And what do I mean by that? I mean, there are a lot of people out there still asleep, and I hate using that term. I'm so sick and tired of that term as well. But there's a lot of people out there living in a reality, I guess I would better describe it as they think that everything is fine, America is doing great, and Biden is the greatest thing since sliced bread. They've been lied to. And that's a fact. That I can report on. That I can prove to you each and every day how much the current administration is lying to the American people. The numbers don't lie. The truth is out there. It's the worst economy in history. They're spinning it completely 180 degrees. And I think a lot of people out there who believe in this guy, when I mean we're going to hit and we're going to hit hard and it's going to hurt, those people are going to be shooken to their core. They're not going to know how to handle this. They're not going to know how to respond because they're going to wake up one day and everything's going to be gone and they're not going to understand what caused it because they're listening to CNN. They're listening to ABC. They're listening to CBS. And that's all lies. So, I just want to encourage you guys to just pay attention to what's going on in our world. Pay attention to what's being put out there by the media. More important, pay attention to what they're not telling you. Pay attention to what they're not saying because every time they put out something, there's something they're not telling you. They're hiding something. They're constantly covering somebody's, you know what. And right now they're trying really hard to cover old, you know who, Harry Legs himself. They cannot disguise this. They can put lipstick. They can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. So um, the economy is in ruins right now, and there's some scary things out there that we all need to pay attention to. Supply chain issues, food crisis, world food crisis. So when this happens, when this shift happens, that's when I think there's going to be some sort of reconciliation of the books. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it reconciliation on our books, whether it's the treasury, whether it's the debt, whether it's your pocketbook or mine. I really believe that there's going to be a reset of some sort. I think that it's high time that America, if some of the people we think are in charge, I really think that those people are going to have something solid like gold. It's going to have to be gold back. There's no more petrodollar. There's no more fiat currency. That stuff's all of the past. It's going to be digital for a fact. It will be digital, and hopefully we'll see some gold back as well. Me personally, I'd like to see a combination of the two. It would be nice to have some gold back currency, and it would be nice to have some digital currency as well. Now, a lot of you, if you've heard this for the very first time, digital currency, oh my goodness, currency has been digital for a very, very long time. If you don't have a smartphone and you're not transferring funds between banks or accounts, then you need to catch up in the 21st century here because I've been doing it for a very long time. Everything's been digital for a very long time. I can go on my phone right now. I can send anyone in the world money. That's digital. So it's already here. We've already been using it. Um, I don't trust a lot of that stuff. So I pay attention to all that. All right, folks. I'm winding down here, but that's really pretty much the stuff that I wanted to cover tonight because I really believe I was told over the weekend, and I'm just going to share this with you guys. I was told over the weekend that there will be something that could happen that really could fire this whole thing off in less than a week, is what I was told. I was told that some of the signals that they're getting, I know some people are predicting the great crash will happen sometime midsummer, after summer, fall. Heck, it's just like the queen dying. I mean, you could call every day of the week and she's going to die, and eventually somebody's going to get it right. Somebody's going to hit it. So I don't know. Could it happen in 5 days, 7 days, a week, a month, summer? I don't know. I just know that eventually this whole thing is going to come to a head and this entire thing is going to be exposed for what it is. And every piece of the puzzle is going to finally fit together. It's going to be one clear picture, and everyone in the whole entire world is going to see exactly what it is for what it is. And I think at that point, that's when we can go to work and really start cleaning things up and making a difference and cleaning up the mess and getting to work. So that's what I have for tonight. I hope you guys have a great evening. I'm going to go ahead and roll off of here. I got some things that I need to go handle tonight, and that's really all the information that I have. But before we leave tonight, I just need to make a couple of announcements. They're more or less prayers that I want to do for some close friends of ours. So if you guys wouldn't mind, I'm going to close out in prayer tonight before I end the show. And the first prayer is going to be for Frank Lopez Jr., and the other one is going to be for Tammy, the Hammer Nation. Dear Heavenly Father, I just come to you this evening, Lord. I feel so blessed, Lord, with all the information that you give us. There's so much of it out there, and it's really hard at times for us to really discern on what is truth and what is not truth, Lord. And I know that a lot of us have our ideas of what we think that truth is. And Lord, I just pray right now that you will reveal to us what that is, what the truth is, so that there is no more guessing games. There is no more illusions, no more smoke and mirrors, no more Kool-Aid. We just want facts. We just want the truth. We want everything to be revealed so that we can go to work in correcting the mistakes that we know that have been made by our government, by our leaders, sometimes even by ourselves, Lord. So this evening, Lord, I pray for our brother, Frank Lopez Jr. Lord, he's getting ready to take in all of his signatures. And I just hope that the audience will hear my prayer tonight and also keep him in your prayers. Frank is getting ready to turn in his signatures to be put on the November ballot, Lord. I just pray right now in the name of Jesus that all those signatures are accepted, received, and that his name gets put on the 2022 ballot there in Texas. Lord, I also pray for our sister Tammy tonight, who's under the weather. She's been under the weather for a couple of days now with fever, and she's got the crud, Lord. And we just pray right now a hedge of protection around Tammy. We pray a hedge of protection around Frank Lopez Jr. Lord, just touch Tammy, heal her, restore her health so she can get back to her daily routines and being part of LWN. Lord, I pray for everyone listening tonight in the sound of my voice. I pray a hedge of protection around each and every one of them, Lord. Continue to bless us. Continue to give us our discernment and your wisdom, Lord. And I pray these things in your Son's precious name. Amen. All right, folks. Keep Frank Lopez Jr. in your prayers, please. He is getting ready to turn in those ballots, and we want his name on the 2022 ballot there in Texas. So I know he's running against an incumbent that's a pretty nasty individual. So we pray that Frank will beat the pants right off of him. God's will, and keep Tammy in your prayers as well. And with that being said, tonight, folks, that's it. Appreciate you guys showing up. God bless, and we will catch you tomorrow.
Hoping for a sincere performance, but open to finding the moment, to finding out where I'm headed now. Looking for a sign of disaster, so I can make it there faster. I'm weighing the consequences out. I can see in all directions. It's all open to interpretation, but I see colors that are breaking from the other side, the other side. When I make mountains out of summer trails, when I buckle under all the details, I'll keep going till I make it to the other side, the other I'm so scared, so damn afraid to look. I'm so sick of talking. I'm wearing the words out, words out. I can see in all directions. It's all open to interpretation, but I see colors that are breaking from the other side, the other side. When I make mountains out of summer trails, when I buckle under all the details, I'll keep going till I make it to the other side, the other side. When it feels like everyone's out to get me, I see the river on the bank.